In this video, we'll walk you through how to add information to your MyGene2 profile. When you log into your account, you'll be directed to your family dashboard, and it's from here that you can add information to your profile, including family health history and candidate genes. And it's also from your dashboard that you can come back at any time and edit or add to this information. We will start here at the Create Profile section of your dashboard at these two bubbles. If this is your first time adding information to your profile, you may notice that your bubbles are green. When you add information to each of these sections, these bubbles will turn to blue. We'll start by clicking on the bubble on the left to add our story and health information. On this page, you can add as much or as little information as you'd like, though there are a couple of things that are required for you to fill out. I'm going to walk you through each part of this form. In this first section, you're asked to enter 1 to 2 sentences about your family's condition or candidate gene. So I'm going to indicate that my son has possible Coffin-Siris syndrome. I'm going to add more information about my son further down the form, and you'll see where I'll enter that. This next question asks you to indicate why you're joining MyGene2. And you can click as many of these boxes as you would like. So for me, I'm going to say that I'm joining MyGene2 for raising awareness, for connecting with other families, for confirming a genetic diagnosis, and for contributing to research on our condition. And I'll continue scrolling down to complete the form. In the story section, you can put as much or as little details as you'd like about the condition in your family. We suggest including a description about the condition, so features and medical history of the individual or individuals in your family who have the condition you're discussing. So I'm going to enter that my son is 5 years old and has global developmental delay, hypotonia, which is low muscle tone, epilepsy, and bilateral hearing loss. Some people include multiple paragraphs in their story, and they give kind of a timeline from birth to present day about the individual in their family who has the condition being discussed. That is not required. You're certainly welcome to enter as much information as you would like. You can even include things like the name of the individual or individuals or date of birth if you're interested in doing that, but it is not required to put in any identifying information. We do suggest being as specific as possible about the features and medical history. So for example, if the person in your family who your profile describes has motor delay but not global developmental delay, then we would ask that you enter motor delay specifically. This next section asks you to enter the name of the condition or diagnosis in your family. Most individuals creating MyGene2 profiles do not have a confirmed diagnosis, and we would ask that if there isn't a confirmed diagnosis, you leave this line blank. So in my case, I'm going to leave it blank. You're welcome to add photos, though this is not a requirement. And then here you're asked to indicate whether you have memberships with other MyGene2 partners. Additionally, you're asked to indicate whether the genetic testing results that you enter as in your candidate genes section came from any of these MyGene2 partners. And your list may look a little bit different from mine because we continue to make partnerships, and so your list may be longer than what you see here. These sections are optional as well. You can link to another website, say a Facebook page or an advocacy group that you run or are a part of that you want to direct visitors to your MyGene2 page to as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save and go back to my dashboard. Now that we've entered our story, we can add our candidate gene. So let's click the button on the right. This form asks for quite a bit of detailed information, so we suggest having your genetic test report with you and available as you fill out this form. All of the information that this form requests can be found on your genetic test report, and so having it nearby will allow you to be able to enter it correctly from there. We have included some example test reports from various genetic testing labs that will show you exactly where on that particular report you can find the information requested on this form. If you have a test report that did not come from one of the listed labs, it may still be helpful to take a look at these example reports, as it may help you locate the important information on your test report. So if in your family there has been a copy number variant or a chromosomal variant or a structural variant detected that involves multiple genes, for example, we suggest clicking this box, checkbox to enter chromosomal abnormalities, and filling out this form. Most of you will have a single gene or a smaller genetic change, a variant within a gene to report, and so you can leave that box unchecked and fill out the form as is. For our case, I'm going to indicate our candidate gene, which is ARID1B. If you don't have additional information, such as the exact genetic change or variant in your family, you're welcome to enter just the gene, in which case you would check this box and the other information would go away, would not be required to fill in, and then you would still be asked to fill out this additional information on the bottom, but would not be asked for specific variant details. It is optimal or best to include the variant details because it's more specific and allows for better matching, as well as for more detailed information for researchers, clinicians, and other families who may be visiting your profile on the website. So we do encourage you to enter variant details if they're available to you. I'm going to go ahead and enter our transcript, which is found on our genetic test report. This transcript is specific to this gene and this variant. I will then put in the cDNA change. And you will see that after I do that, these three fields will think for a minute and make sure that all is consistent. So the form has some safety nets to make sure that we're inputting correct information, and it will not let you save if, for example, the transcript doesn't match the gene or the cDNA change doesn't match the transcript. You'll see that this protein change field filled in automatically, so you'll just want to make sure and confirm on your genetic test report that that is the correct protein change listed. If you have another variant to add in that same gene, you would click this Add Another Variant, and you would see the same form come up again, and you'd fill it in for that second variant. You can then go down to these last few questions. It asks for the inheritance model in your family, and you'll see these various options. In our case, this variant is de novo and was not inherited from a parent. As this next question asks about confidence in pathogenicity, which means the interpretation of the variant in your family. So do we think that this variant does cause the condition or is responsible for the condition in your family? And I will go ahead and click uncertain significance in our case. Again, this information can be found on your test report, and if you're not sure about it, you can ask your genetic counselor or your provider who's been involved in your genetic testing. I'm going to go ahead and save and go back to my dashboard. So we've now filled in both of these the blue and the green bubbles, and our profile is ready to view. So let's click View Profile, and we'll be able to see what would be visible to anyone visiting our profile page. You can see in Story, here's the information that we added. In Health Info, we'll see a list of features that was generated from the story that I entered. And then in Genetic Data, we will see the And then in Genetic Data, we will see the variant in ARID1B that we entered. So it looks like our profile is good to go. I'm going to go back to my dashboard and just point out a couple other important things that you'll see on your dashboard. This section below the creating and editing information buttons asks whether you'd like to add a proxy to your profile. If you have a genetic counselor or another provider who you'd like to receive your messages from MyGene2 contributors or be notified of matches with other profiles, we encourage you to add their email address and last name here so that they can be notified when you're notified as well. A proxy can also edit and add information to your profile. So for example, if you had additional genetic testing that revealed a new candidate gene, you could ask your proxy to enter that information to your profile on your behalf. These next two sections are optional. You can read more information about them on our website. You do not need to provide consent to have a profile on MyGene2. And then the last thing I want to show you are the privacy settings and contact permissions for your profile. These are the default settings, but you are welcome to go in and change these according to your preferences. For privacy settings, you have the option of having each section be visible to anyone, including someone without a MyGene2 profile who's visiting the MyGene2 page, or just to MyGene2 contributors. So that would be families, researchers, and clinicians who have a MyGene2 account. And then you also have the option of making your story private and only seen by you and the University of Washington MyGene2 team. And these contact permissions below allow you to indicate who you give permission to receive messages from through MyGene2. As a reminder, your email address is not provided to any MyGene2 contributors or anyone visiting the site. All messaging is done through MyGene2, and you would receive an email when a message has been received to your account. As always, if you have any questions or would like to discuss your specific profile in further detail, you're welcome to contact us by going to this contact page at the top of the website and filling in this information, or you're welcome to email us directly at this email address, mygene2@uw.edu. Thanks so much for watching.